I think we're live.
We are live. What's going on, Dirk?
It's just another day in paradise, Alex. I think we've got a good show for everybody today that's probably on the minds of a lot of people. And I think a lot of people are going to be able to relate to our discussions and, thought processes in our collecting. I need to go over here and mute this other computer, though, which I thought I had
And
already.
a couple little disclaimers about me. First of all, the sweat. I just got out of the shower, but it's too hot. So if you want to call me a greasy monkey, whatever. And second of all, I may be pulled off a little to the side because I got a puppy that loves to destroy everything that's kind of at my feet right now. So yeah, uh, yeah, it's
Yep,
live.
we've got
It's the live stuff.
our EDC, our mascot now. So
Oh yeah.
he is down there chewing up stuff, I'm sure. Got
Here he is.
Knives in the house. There he is.
There's Max, the cattle dog.
StreamYard changed their stuff around a little bit here.
Max the cattle dog.
There you go.
Yeah, he's cool, man. He's been a good boy, but he wants to go pull on his favorite blanket. So I'll let him go destroy that. I don't mind. He can tear that up all he wants.
Very cool. We got Anthony in the house. This is good because we're going to talk about collecting. And Anthony is, I talk to him all the time on the side, knives and things. Tony, New Zealand Nick in the house. Holy jeez! All right, we got some big players. Stacy, Ryan. We don't normally name everybody, but I named a couple, so I kind of got to go through everybody. Kathleen, Luck Knives, the usual suspects, if you will.
Yes.
All seven of the people that generally join in. So.
Yep.
CPM. So yeah, Alex and I were talking earlier this week about, hey, what do you want to do? Got any thoughts about the show this weekend? Blah blah, which is what we normally do, right? We didn't have a guest. We had a guest last time. We didn't line up a guest, so we started talking about collecting because Alex goes, hey, I don't really know what's going on because I've spent all my time with my dog, and so I'm like, that's kind of the evolution of collecting, not necessarily his dog, but
well, I want to correct that a little bit, okay? Because what I really kind of said was more like, hey man, tired of spending money on knives.
Yes, that is true,
and it's true. And like, I'm not, and then I followed up with I'm not as into the hobby as I felt like I was. And obviously I have a dog, so that is keeping me busy. But to be 100% truthful, this started like months before I got Max. And it was just a thought that, I don't know, I don't want to sound cheap, right? Like, but
just bring it on. It's just us girls.
Maybe I am being cheap, right? Like, whatever. But I just remember, like, for me, here's my gauge on it. When I was shopping for knives, there was less variety and I found a lot more stuff interesting to me. To be fair, I was a new collector that didn't really know as much about like knives, and I was interested in learning, and my original thing, which is why I always had like a world map on the back of my YouTube channel like background, was because I wanted to like see what people from all around the world were doing when they were constructing knives and doing those sorts of things. So really, when it came down to that, I was having a great time learning about everything. And there was a season to the things that we collect and release dates, and there was like kind of a system, a pattern, a calendar, if you will. And the community was smaller, I guess, is another thing that's like significantly smaller. And a lot of OGs were kind of like the thing to watch at that time, and like Nick Shabazz and like, now I'm not in the mainstream watching like knife videos anymore that much. I don't know who's still big or who's not. Like, I've kind of like ex-nayed from only watching like channels of friends. Like, what it comes down to, because I feel like I've gotten to the point where when it comes to learning about new mechanisms, new knives, and new materials and things like that, like I've come to the pinnacle of what I think I want to reach. Like I don't really think, I know there's a lot more for me to experience and learn, but I think at that line, it's like for me, it's who cares, whatever's above that. And below that, like I've gotten to the max amount of money I want to spend on knives, and like might shift my hobby focused stuff another way. Now, to also mention it, I'm not saying I'm going to put everything I have for sale. I'm never buying any more knives. I mean, I just bought the tilt, like, but
Right.
I would only buy stuff like the tilt. I wouldn't like, and I have an order with Ian from CMF, right? Like I'm buying that. That's
Right. Good.
but
We've only
I'm
waited
not,
6 years.
I'm
So
not, I'm not surfing like knife stores anymore. I'm not like doing my weekly review of what's coming out, like from PVK, Arizona Customs, and I'll go to Blade HQ, I'll go to Knife Center, I'll go to GP Knives, I'll go to and I'll go to my South African guys. Like
Yep.
I go to Blade Gallery a lot in Washington. I go to like African Custom Knives. And this is like not me looking to buy a knife. This is just me like looking at what's getting released, right? Like it keeps me current. That's how I was like so current before, is like every time new stuff pops out, if I don't know what it is, I'll go research it and like learn about it. And so I was really good at identifying like knives, even like based on like styles versus knowing exactly what knife got released, like that maker's signature of design, I guess you could say, right? Like I could tell a hinderer from another hinderer, like, and
right.
I don't have to see the horse on it,
Yep.
So yeah, that's kind of like where I kind of like came from. I felt almost a little pessimistic in the way I delivered that to you, but
No. I didn't take it in a negative way at all. I get where you're going, and I'm having some of my own thoughts and stuff right now too, which we'll get into a little bit more. But before we get into it too much, I do want to say that we do have a little bit of a giveaway today.
Oh yeah,
Okay.
let's do that.
It's nothing super fancy. You guys need to type in hashtag GAW. And I've got 2 slip joints from Big Knives. And they're matching. One's just bigger, one's smaller. So I figured it was a nice little pair. Okay. And these are, I think they're 14C, 28N blades, G10 scales with the little shields in there. And again, they're both the same, just one's a little bigger and one's a little smaller. So a fun little thing, which we'll do later on. But yeah, hashtag GAW if you want to be involved in that. And it'll just be one winner that will get both, the big guy and the small guy.
That's such a nice little fit and finish for like an inexpensive knife.
Yeah, these are like $55 each, give or take, with a really nice walk and talk. If you're into slip joints, I'm not really, but it's just the right amount of pressure to pull out. Like you're not going to bust off your thumbnail trying to dig in or anything like that. No pocket clips or nothing. They're both brand new, never carried, never cut. One of them has the zipper pouch and everything. The other one doesn't. Mark Begg gave me a box full of stuff. Some had the zipper pouches and all the paperwork, and some just were in like little white boxes that they had put together. So the big one has the whole box, zipper pouch and everything and all that. So hashtag GAW, and we'll do one of the StreamYard giveaway tool things later. But I did there's a good comment up here. There's a couple of good comments that I wanted to highlight here. This one is a really good one. Now, remember, guys, this is a participation show. So we want your comments down below, and you guys can answer this question to Nick also. Did most of you start collecting production knives like CRKT, Kershaw, Spyderco, etc., then gradually transitioned to high-end customs. I can answer for myself. I started with a Spyderco police model way back in like 87 when they first came out. And I've done a whole video on it. That was my very first YouTube video, which is still up. I've seen a bunch of other people take videos down because they've evolved and doing better quality. I just leave it all. But anyway, and then I kind of got into Benchmade stuff because my brother, who's in law enforcement, one of his partners at his department was a Benchmade dealer. And so I could get Benchmade stuff at a discount. I just had to drive down and pick it up in person and, whatnot. So I ended up with a bunch of Benchmade. And then I slowly transitioned into higher end production stuff, some Medfords, spent $400, $500, $600 on a knife, which I said I would never spend more than $500 on a knife. Liar. And so, yeah, I just transitioned. And once I got into higher end knives, the production ones for me were less exciting. And it's similar with watches for me. When I first kind of got into watches, my very first watch was not my Rolex. Very first watch, well, it was like a Casio G-Shock 100 years ago. But then when I got into watches, I bought a ton of Seiko. And back then, they were $200-$300. So I could get really good Seiko stuff. And then I started moving up to higher end stuff. So what about you, Alex?
I mean, like I can go back before I was like collecting knives. Like it was always Kershaw's and like fixed blades in the military, which got me into the whole knife thing. But I didn't really start collecting till like years later. Right. And when I did decide, like finally, like I thought to myself, okay, I want like a nice piece of kit. Like I'm gonna buy one knife that's gonna last a lifetime if I wanted to. And I don't have to be, it's so nice that, it's like, I'm never embarrassed to pull it out and use it. It's going to be all the right stuff and all that good stuff. One knife to do it all, right? So yep. I surfed around not knowing nothing about anything. And it was so long ago that they used to describe M390 as a surgical type steel. They stopped doing that a long time ago, but yeah, and I saw this Benchmade monologue that I ended up buying as that first knife. It was almost like a Sabenza-esque, but has ball bearings instead, of like washers. It's like a little more modernized. And for somebody who never watched a YouTube video or knew zilch, it wasn't a bad pick actually. Like a full titanium ball bearing M390 knife. That was my first knife that I started the box, which I still have. Okay. That was that one I had, what's his name, modified for me.
Oh, yeah.
And stuff. So, and then from there, I went kind of backwards. I was interested I got a cool knife to like use every day. And then I just started getting interested in like weird locks. So I started buying like CRKTs were really weird back then. And like there was a few of the other, I don't know, I would buy just at random, whatever I thought was cool on the spot at some time. It just had to be like something different than the regular catalog. And so I went kind of that direction. And then Spyderco PM2s, things like that. From the day I started buying Spydercos, I still buy Spydercos to this day. So I haven't really stopped buying those. Benchmade, like you could see, I have like maybe like 8 of them, 5 of them. I am one, but anyways, like I don't have that many. But I'll still buy a Benchmade. Like I'll buy anything that's interesting now. It doesn't matter what brand it is. But I did move to buying customs at some point. And that transition was a little bit different for me than some other people because right now, when you want to buy a custom, even if you don't know anything, there's plenty of information out there to make an educated decision about buying from a good maker to a bad maker, how long it's going to, I mean, there's so much info from Reddit to forums to whatever else. Like you could do that. But like 10 years ago, like you're kind of going word of mouth. It was a little different ball game. And it was actually like a risk I wasn't willing to take. So when I started buying customs, I'm like, I don't want to deal with that shit. So I'm going to buy a custom knife from Knife Center. And yeah, I'm going to pay more.
Yeah.
But it's coming in the mail. Like it's coming, tomorrow.
Right.
Like, so I started buying handmade customs at like retailers that would just order or swipe up a few from shows and things like that. That's how they get them. And then there's obviously like the custom makers themselves have some sort of agreement with certain retailers that they'll send a batch of however so many, right?
Right.
So, I mean, Knife Center is a perfect example. You can get something really weird on Knife Center or even Blade HQ sometimes, like a one-off dual action tuck knife that had like a hawk bill on it. Like it was like a prototype. Like you'll find them. You just have to search, right? Yep. So that was my next evolution. And then my final evolution, when I finally decided like, hey, okay, I kind of want to like order something specific to what I want. I want to try this. The first custom knife maker that I dealt with it was like I ordered it in 2016, but my build didn't come up till the beginning of 2017. And that was with Casey Middleton with the old Dominion knives, which I still have that too, the Chupacabra,
which is a really nice Chupacabra.
Yeah,
I had a 4-inch one for a little while, but it was almost too big. And I'm used to carrying 4-inch knives, but something about that particular knife just was a little big in my hand and whatnot. I loved it, but I ended up moving it on. But he makes some great stuff.
Yeah, his stuff is like fun knives,
Yes.
Like he does like to get into that gigantic knife market, the 5, 8, 9-inch knives, and So, but I gotta say, like, working with him as my first experience was really pleasant. It was super good communication. Like, hey, no problem, let's do that. Like, I wanted a superconductor thumb discs, but he's like, I don't have enough material after I made your bolsters, so he made them out of like the carbon fiber, but the what's that carbon fiber they don't do anymore? The one with the wire inside.
Oh, the lightning strike?
Oh yeah, the lightning strike carbon fiber. So he did copper lightning strike carbon fiber on the scales, and he did that for the thumb disc. Yeah. So like there's a little give here, a little take there.
Some give and take, yeah.
And and that knife has evolved like 3 times already. It's been to him 3 times for changes, like new blade and all that stuff. So it's an ongoing relationship with him, which is fun. And from there, I've had good and bad experiences, but I never stopped buying production knives ever. I still do from time to time. I just never I found production, mid-tech, and custom knives all in their own category of fun. So I never really said, I'm not really that interested in that anymore. Although maybe by now, which is a long time after, I started falling off the buying the $50 or $80 budget knives. Like if something really cool and cheap comes along, I'll probably buy it.
Yeah.
But I'm not buying as many of those because I used to like to see what you can get for that budget and feel what they really were like. And they're cool knives to try because they're kind of inexpensive, So
yeah, for sure.
But yeah, that's kind of my evolution, anyways.
Okay, and I like Anthony's comment here. My wife bought me a Snap-on set one Christmas with a knife and a multi-tool, and the EDC craze started from there. I like that, how he kind of turns it around and he blames his wife. So now his wife started it. She can't get upset. And I know that Anthony has gone into some really crazy customs, high-end stuff. He's kind of in my same mind frame. He has
Well,
a
he has a
battle.
Fisher. He has a Fisher on his as his screen name thing right
Yeah, he's
there.
got a Fisher. That one's the the Hawk, Battle Hawk, the Warhawk.
Oh, it's the Carter.
It's the Carter / Fisher collaboration Warhawk thing. So he's really in my mindset because we share. Well, we've actually shared knives back and forth. We've traded knives together. We've bought some knives from each other. He's a bad influence. I need to stop being friends with him because there is a knife that's loaned in right now that I want to buy, but I might let him buy. It's a thing. As we're talking about collecting, I'm not sure where I am right now. Like, I've slowed way down, right? I bought the King Battle back in December of 23, and this has been in my pocket now for 228 days. I have not carried another knife but this every day for 228 days. That's a feat. Okay. I have bought the Todd Rexford Singularity C in that time. And I carried this literally one time. I went to my jeweler's to look at some watches and stuff, and I brought this with me just to show him a new knife. But that's it. I carried it that one time down the street and back, and that was it. So I haven't bought anything in a little while, really. I mean, I bought those two in the last year, and that's about it. And I'm really happy with where I'm at. However, running my channel the way I run it, a lot of people send me stuff, whether it's stuff they bought, stuff that custom maker. I have a bunch here from ADV. They're brand new customs that were sent to me that end up going to New Zealand at some point. So I get to check out all these knives. Well, sometimes people send them to me and say it's for sale. And then I sometimes want to buy it. So my collecting right now is kind of been skewed a little bit by what people have sent. And funny thing is, you talked about Rick Hinderer earlier. I just filmed this yesterday. This is the Rick Hinderer K-Bar collaboration, really. Fully licensed by K-Bar. And I talked about it in the video that Rick Hinderer did to honor the USMC fighting utility knife. And I got to tell you, I'm not even really a fixed blade guy, but I really kind of want this. I'm not going to buy it. I'm going to send it back to Gil over at Wild About Sporting Goods. But man, it's just a freaking cool ass knife. So I've really kind of evolved into some fixed blade fixations now that I never thought I would. It's really weird, this whole collecting thing.
Yeah. Well, I think, after we absorb so much of one thing, like you kind of sometimes just want to move on to learn something new, and it's kind of the same thing with me. I mean, I've always used to joke and say it's not a real knife unless it's a fixed blade. So like I've always had a love for an affinity for them. But, living in the city, I don't really have a reason to carry one. And
yeah, that's my thing too, is I'm never going to actually carry a fixed blade.
Yeah.
That's my appreciation of folding knives. I can carry those mostly anywhere, right? And so they do get carried every day, and I always have a knife with me and all that. I figure if I have a nice, big, expensive fixed blade, it's going to be one more thing back here in the case or in the safe or on the table or on the kitchen counters, just collecting dust. Because yeah, I'm a knife guy. There's knives all over the freaking house. It's a little much.
Well, I agree with that, and I'm kind of the same way. I actually thought like one of the new things that would be fun to do would be to try to explore those different types of small EDC fixed blade carry knives, right? The ones that go inside the pocket with the clip.
Oh yeah.
I thought like that would be a fun area to play around with because there's a lot of people in that area with these small like little concealed blades. Like I'm not into like the whole self-defense and using like the poker or
Correct.
anything like that. Like I want a utility knife. And me and my family went camping in the desert.
Congrats, Kathleen, on a Aries.
Oh, very nice. And then we went camping, me and the family, out in 29 Palms, Joshua Tree area.
Yeah,
And
beautiful area.
it is. It was really hot, but like we were kind of more doing the glamping thing. There was this kind of like dome thing you can go into, and it had AC and it worked really well actually. And then at
It
nighttime,
had AC.
it has AC
Had
in
AC.
it.
That's a full-on glamping.
Yeah, my wife ain't gonna do it any other way, man. Yeah, you.
My girlfriend would probably
realize
that as well than a tent or dirt camping, as we used to call it. I don't even want to do the tent camping thing anymore.
I'm
I've
down
been
for the
spoiled
tent.
by being in race trailers and stuff for all of these off-roading races and events I've been to. I don't think I can just throw up a tent and a sleeping bag on the floor again.
See, I could do that, and I love it, and I have like no issue doing that. But the wife, no way, ain't gonna happen, you know. And then I had this vlog. So, but you got to realize when we got there at about we got there around check-ins at 3 p.m.
Yep,
it was 110 on the thermometer outside. 110 at 3 p.m.
Forget that noise.
And then, so the AC was nice. You can go refresh, and then you come out, and then we barbecued around evening time. It was actually a lot of fun. But at that time, it was a perfect excuse to bring out a fixed blade that, you know, that was my EDC for that weekend. And I mean, the joys of carrying a nice fixed blade.
What is that one?
So this is the Aaron Goff Resolute.
Okay.
I've sent it to you. Yeah,
I think I remember it.
And it's a big old, like, nicely sculpted piece of A2 steel with a custom heat treat, and some nice G10 scales that are layered. And it's a perfect fit in the hand. And it's not a big knife by any means. You can see like the sheath, like in the palm of my hand, is that. Yep. So we're not talking a big knife at all, guys. But this was so handy. It's stout. It's got like a nice, decent spine on it. But it was actually quite useful to, you know, make little feather sticks and like cut little pieces of wood and such. And it is a fairly tough steel, A2. That's what Park River likes to use a lot. But all I did was put a strap on it, and after like wood and everything, I mean, it is unbelievably sharp. So good heat treat on this guy. Aaron Goff Resolute, if you guys want to really like a true, real custom fixed blade meant to be used outdoors. Yep. This is a great option. This is one of my favorite knives in the collection, to be honest with you guys. Especially in the fixed blade side of things. So yeah, that was my little camping tool.
Awesome. And yeah, as Luck Knives points out, Luck Knives knows a guy who makes fixed blades. So he's talking about himself. If anybody is not familiar, Luck actually makes his own fixed blades. I've done a video on one or two of them. He's a great guy. He's great to work with. He's going to have a table at Blade Show West. If anybody is going, please go check him out. He's just a great guy. He used to do YouTube videos like Alex and I, and then he sold a bunch of knives, a couple of which I got. One I still have in the cabinet here, so that he could buy a grinder and a heat treat oven and a bunch of other knife making stuff, which I got no idea about. And he makes his own knives in the garage, in the basement, wherever he does at his house, and he's turned out some cool stuff. So
I would recommend him, man, because he is an enthusiast like the rest of us. Yep. And he would probably be somebody really fun to do a custom order. Like, I'm sure Mike will like be more than happy to try to make you as happy as you can with the materials and skills he's got. And he's got some he dived into like like some very fancy materials early on. So
Yes, he
he's probably
dove
got some
into the
good
deep
practice
end.
now.
Like
Yeah.
he didn't tiptoe in. He dove all the way into the deep end and is making some really cool stuff. So he would absolutely be somebody that could work with you if you wanted carbon fiber, if you wanted this or that. Like he really would work with you. So yeah, if you're in the mood. So now the other thing with like collecting that Alex and I talked about the other day too, when we were kind of getting ready for the show. And hey, for anybody that's new watching here, we have a giveaway. There's a bunch more people viewing right now. We got 2 slip joints. Just comment hashtag giveaway, GAW, hashtag GAW. And in a little bit here, we'll give these away to one lucky winner. They're the same exact knife, just a big one and a small one. So there you go. And Mike chimes in that he's now making his own micarta. And I saw a video on YouTube
Oh
about
yeah, I saw that.
part 1. I am super excited to see and understand that process. So that's very cool. But one of the other things we were talking about in the collecting thing is not just so much collecting, but in hobbies. Like I've kind of evolved through my hobbies, right? I got knives, I got watches, I got a tattoo or two. Um, I was into doing triathlons back in the day. My knee told me to F off. Don't ever try that again. So I stopped trying to sell all that stuff off now, really. Was into building Jeeps. I built a bunch of Jeeps over the years and always had Jeeps. Don't have any right now. So we've kind of evolved from just hobbies in general, I think, as well. And it's just interesting to kind of look back on your life, so to speak, and see what you used to do and what you're doing now and why things changed and stuff like that. It's just kind of interesting, right? And then in knife collecting specifically, one of the other comments that Nick from New Zealand made, and I'm not going to scroll up and try to find the actual comment, but he asked something about, do you guys, meaning us collectively watching and here, do we collect like one maker, one style, or just different things? And for me, I think it's no surprise, I collect a lot of the Fisher family, Frank Fisher, Todd Fisher Sr., and TJ Fisher, Todd Jr. I also collect a lot of Red Horse Knife Works things because I like those particular makers. I've not met any of them in person yet, unfortunately, but I've talked to all of them on the phone before and things like that. So I've built a relationship, a connection with them, and I like their styles. So I tend to kind of collect people, not so much the knife, if that makes sense.
I'm a little different. I like to I want to taste a little bit of everything from everywhere. So whereas I don't have as much experience with one maker, I usually buy 3 or 4 of one maker type of knife or something, and then when I feel like I've had my fill of that and enjoy those knives, I go move on to something else. And I'll try that and then move on to something else. That's why you'll see like tons of different like makers, makes and models, but in groups, right? Like,
Yep.
and if I like something more, then the rule breaks. Like I have like, a bunch of Spydercos and, a bunch of other stuff. So, but for the most part, like I have, one JG Scout, I have one Millet, I have one Kurt American, I have, I actually have a few Red Horse Knife Works too.
Yes.
I
It's
think I have
easy
like
to collect.
there is a little collecting in there somewhere, but
Right. You got
I'm a
Detroit
little more
Spartan in the
sparse.
house. Welcome,
Okay.
Detroit Spartan, who is now from Austin. He is no longer in Detroit. The last time I saw him while I was in Detroit, he announced that he had gotten a new job and was relocating. So,
Nice.
congrats on the new job. It's been maybe 6 months now, 5 months, something like that. So I hope that's all going good. Oh, he spent the weekend in Michigan where his fiance is doing her medical residency as she graduated a few months ago as a doctor. So
Nice.
hey, thanks for chiming in, Detroit. It's always good. We don't chat enough now because he's working his new job. So he's busy at the new job and doesn't have time for his friends anymore. I see how it goes, but that's all right. Thanks for chiming in. So yeah, it's interesting hobbies that we're in, and there's no wrong way to collect. Okay. And if anybody tells you you're doing it wrong, tell them to F right off. Okay. They're assholes if they're going to tell you that you need to collect a certain way, or you need to stop collecting $50 knives and you need to spend $500 knives and all that. No. You collect however you want to collect. One of the things that I started thinking about this week, because there's a knife I want to buy that I have over there in my to be filmed pile, and I'm thinking I'm never going to carry it. There's a little, not an issue, but I don't really love the way the pocket clip works in my pockets. So I don't know that I'm not going to carry it. I just know I'm not going to carry it, but I want it because it kind of fits in the collection that I'm starting to now think as more of a curated collection from this one maker. It's a Frank Fisher bottle. It's another Frank Fisher bottle. Okay. It's kind of almost, I'm treating those now in my mind a little bit, or justifying why I should buy them, because it's like stamps or baseball cards that maybe are going to go up in value, maybe not, but I can just keep them, buy them, and store them. I don't have to carry them. I don't know. It's a weird spot I'm in right now with that particular knife, of if I'm going to buy it or not. Fortunately, if I don't buy it, there's two other people that I'm very close friends with. One is here in the chat that already agreed to buy it. The other guy already agreed to buy it. So I had told the owner that it's going to be sold. Me just needs to pull my head out, decide if I buy it, or am I going to have one of the other two guys send the owner money and I'll send them the knife later. Yeah, see, CPM. Highly curated. Welcome to the family. See? Now, CPM has some amazing stuff. And he has a lot of high-end stuff that probably doesn't carry at a mall, because we can't carry at the mall. It's just, yeah, it's crazy. I don't know. It's a weird place I'm in right now. We didn't talk about this, CPM, but I can see we should talk about this. Anyway, all right, let me step off on my soapbox here again. Yes, Boosted TI, one of my friends that I know in person, real life, probably 10 or 15 years. It is expensive. It's an expensive hobby when you get into the full one-off custom stuff.
But it doesn't have to be, though.
It doesn't have to be.
Hey, you could collect all kinds of stuff.
And yes, there is a little bit of that Napster Ninja that I know two other people want it. So I should just let them have it, but I kind of want it. It doesn't have to be expensive. You guys can spend as much or as little as you want on a knife. It really doesn't have to be expensive. And it's expensive is a relative term. Some people think a $200 knife, I mean, $200 is out of their price range for a knife, and that's way too expensive. For other people, $200 is like, yeah, what's your PayPal? Just send it right now. They don't even think twice about it. And there's no wrong way about that either.
I agree with that.
Oh, and Todd Carr. I mean, I didn't even see your comment until now. He goes, I generally stick to under $200 unless it's something very special. Been pretty successful at staying at that level. That's a great point. Pick a level that you are comfortable with. For Todd, it's $200. There are phenomenal knives for $200 out there. Do you need anything more than that? I'm going to tell you right now, you really don't need anything more than a $200. You really don't. It's going to do everything you need it to do.
especially nowadays.
Especially in today's world, there's so many cool knives in that 200 and under range that are great. As you get more expensive, you're getting into more exotic materials. The Damascus blades, the Timascus scales, a lot of the little more exotic materials. That's what you're starting to pay for.
And the name and talent, right?
You are paying for the name. You really are. Like, I love this Todd Rexford. Okay. It's a great knife, but it's a titanium inset liner lock with 154 cm blade steel with some crazy milling. If it'll focus, take my word on it. I did a video on it. You can go back and look. It's got crazy milling, but you are absolutely 1000% paying for the Todd Rexford name, the lineage, the prestige, the whatever you want to call it. Because quite frankly, these two knives are about the same price. And they are drastically different materials. You got a lot of exotic materials here. Sanmai bolsters, Sanmai pocket clip. And then you've got just, I don't want to say plain Jane, but standard materials. And so you are paying for the name. And that's not to take anything away from the Rexford or any of his. He does some ones with exotic material as well.
Oh, I mean, so there is all the aspect of collecting. What about burnout, man? Is there a little burnout sometimes you experience when you collect? Like you're like, what am I doing?
It's been really nice not buying knives. Like I said, I bought 2 knives since December of last year, and we're in August now of this year. So it's been what, 8 months I've bought 2 knives. It's actually kind of nice. I'm not out searching for things to buy all the time. I don't feel like I have this rush or this hunt I'm on because I'm pretty happy.
Yeah,
I don't need anything else. There are a couple of knives that I would like to own at some point in my collecting. I would like to own a Rockstead, which is a fixed blade I might own. And I would like to own a Stan Wilson non-flipper flipper, which I know is one of your Grail knives.
absolutely.
And I'm sure there's some others. Just off the top of my head, those are 2 that I would like to own in my collection at some point in the future. I'm not calling them Grails. The Battle was my Grail, and I own several Frank Fisher Battles now. So I don't think I have a Grail anymore. I attained my Grail. So it is nice, and it's actually nice carrying the same knife for 228 days. It's been really nice.
I've been like, I for years and years was swapping knives and watches every day. I've been swapping knife and watch like more like once a week now. Like I carry the same thing for the whole week. And then, or sometimes even 2 weeks. And then I'll carry something else,
Yeah, and I'm down to just 2 watches. I mean, I own more than 2 watches. Like the higher end watches now, I think I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, maybe 5, and one of them's like a $500 knife. The rest are more. I only have 5, really, and then I've got a couple G-Shocks. So I've sold a few knives and things watches, but really I wear just 2, and I really should think about selling off the other couple that I just never really wear. But I like owning them. Thailand in the house.
That's where I'm at, man.
Dang Ross says, yes, I'm currently burnt out. Tell us a little more about how you're burnt out. Todd Carr says, from a user perspective, after say $250, there's a rapidly diminishing returns on investing more than that, short of just collecting in our current market. I think that's a valid point. You got to think of knives not as investments, even when you're spending 5 figures.
I was gonna say the same thing, but I would have bumped it up to like more like $400.
Or I would have said 5 myself, but I get it. There is a point where you're not going to make money back. Do not buy a knife as an investment. I don't care who the maker is. Okay. Don't do it, because this Todd Rexford I filmed it in December. I shipped it to the new owner because it got sold while I had it in my possession. And I bought it back from the new owner for less than he paid a few months later, because he was ready to sell it and move on to something else. So even a Todd Rexford, you're not necessarily guaranteed to get your money out of it.
You know what knife I felt like I reached the pinnacle of investment, manufacturing, materials, and service of return, as far as like lifetime, of use, is just like Luck Knives said, my Sabenza. It was $400, man, and that is like a really, like, it looks plain, but it's really intricately made. Like it's a very tight fitting, very like well assembled knife. And
crazy bang for your buck.
Yeah, dude, the hollow grind is super hollow on that thing. It's got a rounded spine. It's got like everything you really like would think of you need on a knife, and all in a nice, elegant package with a neutral handle that fits anybody's hand. So for me, like, that was the knife when I spent that $400 when I first handled that Sabenza. That was a knife I'm like, wow, I feel like I'm holding like something nice, and not like just nice looking. I feel like I'm holding like a good durable tool. Like it's a mixture of something that feels expensive and fine to use, Obviously that was a long time ago, but
yeah, no, I think they're probably a little more than that now, but yeah, Sabenzas are great. Paul Mills says Todd Rexford makes a little titanium box cutter, I'm guessing, that is over $600. His stuff demands big money. He does make the RUT, the Rexford utility tool, which Alex owns, which was my very first introduction to Todd Rexford, because Alex shipped it to me to film.
Yeah, I still have that too.
Yeah, we talk about Sabenzas and CR, Chris Reeve knives. My brother is a knife collector also. He has about 12 knives in his total.
I want to interject and say, before you describe him, I really like the way he collects knives. I like the way he does it a lot. I wish I was like that.
He is very disciplined. So he has like 8 folding knives and like 4 fixed blades. Former law enforcement, retired, I think, like 7 years ago now. He was the smarter one of the siblings by getting a good career job and retiring at under 60. So good on him. And he survived, 30 years in law enforcement. So thank God for that. He has mostly, out of his 8 folders, I'm going to say 7 of them are Chris Reeve knives. And the other one is a Spartan Harsey. So, and he's very dedicated. Oh, he does have a Red Horse production Hellraiser that I sold him at a great deal. So I think he's going to keep that one. So he's got like 8, maybe 9 folders and then a few fixed blades, but he doesn't carry the fixed blades either. Like me, they're kind of fun to have and own. And there's some sentimental reasons. I think he's got a couple knives, but he's very disciplined on not buying too many. And that guy, he can pull it out of the box. And in 5 minutes, he realizes he doesn't like it. And he has sold a knife the day he's got it. I think he's actually sold one before it showed up at his house.
I've seen him do that a few times.
Because he realized he didn't want it.
Yeah.
I am not that good. I've got stuff back here that I should sell.
Wasn't the Holt Spectre like that? Like you bought it off of him because he was like done with it in like a day or something like that?
No, he had a Spectre for a while, but he won a lotto. for a Spectre for me. Like intentionally, he tried to win a lotto for me as I was trying to win a lotto because I really wanted one. So he did win it. He bought it, shipped it to him, and then he turned around and shipped it to me, and I paid him table price.
Right.
And then I had it for several months, and then I decided to sell it. And I didn't go crazy because they were at crazy prices at the time. I didn't sell it for table, whatever. I made some money off of it, and I instantly turned around. I took half of what I got over the price I paid my brother, and I sent it to my brother. And he texts me, he goes, "Hey, did you just mean to send me some money?" I'm like, "Yeah, I sold the Spectre. I told you if I made money off of it, I'd split it." Because that's fact and the way to go.
Speaking of lotteries, I actually got selected for something that I applied for like over 7 years ago. A Norseman, not maker's choice. What do you call it when it's my choice?
Yeah,
Customer's
whatever.
choice or whatever, right? Like finally, like they selected me to get a Norseman built to the specs that I wanted. So I got excited because I'm like, I'm gonna get a Damasteel one, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then so the email says sometimes some exotic materials available, like buyer's choice. That's what it is.
Oh, buyer's choice.
And then so I went in there and I got excited because it says sometimes some materials available, Damasteel, blah blah blah. And then I go in there and nothing Damascus or Damasteel was available. It was either stonewash or satin, the typical stuff. So yeah, I was like, nah, because I already have my Blue Norseman, which I bought like, I don't know, like 4.5 years ago or something.
Mm-hmm.
So it was kind of funny to like that my name was still in that lotto after
That's
7
funny.
years. So
Rambo Adventure here talks about watch collecting a little bit. He got to the point with my watch collecting that I never wore my Patek Philippe or my VC, my Vacheron Constantin, because they had to be in the bank safe deposit box for insurance. For watches, there are a couple that I do want to add. I'm not going to call them Grail watches or anything, and I mention it because Mark, Rambo Adventure down in Thailand, mentions VC. One watch that I really do want to buy is a VC Overseas with the blue dial. It is just phenomenal. It's like 25, maybe 30 grand right now, which is crazy. I'm not rushing to buy it, but it is something I do want to own. And then there is a two-tone Ever Rose Gold chocolate dial Yachtmaster from Rolex that I really would like to get. Just a little tidbit here. Dave Williams, Alex, I feel the same way about my Sabenza. Now, I actually owned a Sabenza for a while. It was with the Insigno blade, which is my favorite blade shape from them. And it had carbon fiber inlay on the scales. And it had the little lanyard that comes on it. And I never really carried it, but I do kind of miss it. I think I traded that one with Lone Wolf on Facebook. If you guys know her, a freaking amazing person. I think I traded with her for, if I remember, a XM24, non-flipper XM24 from Hinderer. And I do actually miss the XM24. That was a great knife.
Yep, I liked mine too. That I don't have anymore. That one I sold to Alice's husband.
Jeff, yeah. So just kind of looking through some of these comments now real quick. So don't forget, guys, hashtag GAW for the giveaway, which we'll do in a few minutes here. I see there's more people joining and whatnot. So bag knives, slip joints, you get both. Hashtag GAW. Arius EDC, I'm at the point when I look at my collection to start selling some of the more budget stuff that I don't carry. Yes, that's my problem. I need to sell a bunch more because I have a bunch of stuff I never carry, but I'm mentally and emotionally attached to them for some ridiculous reason. I need therapy. I need a 12-step program. And then I should sell because I bought a house a year ago too. kind of another reason I stopped buying knives.
Almost exactly a year ago, too, huh?
Yeah, I haven't even moved into the house 1 year yet. I moved in at the end of August last year. I bought the house July 14th is when I closed last year. And then I had to give notice where I was renting. And I took a month. We did some work here. I'd had some electrical work done, drywall work done, foundation work done. So there was some work I had to do on the house before I moved in. So I moved in at the end of August. So I'm at the point now where I want to start doing some house projects.
Mm-hmm.
And if I sold a knife or two, I could probably afford to do my house projects. But we'll see. Kathleen says, none of us are burnt out or we wouldn't be on this live. Well, I am glad you're here. I am glad for it looks like 39 people are here right now. And one of those is my other laptop watching to make sure that the stream is actually going. So it's really 38 people. I always subtract one because one of them is me. Try to bump those numbers up, right? I need the views. I need.
Yeah, and on my channel is separate, so you guys got to go to my other channel, the Watch and Cut channel, to go to me. My channel is much smaller, but I'm almost at 2,400 people.
Yeah, so in the description is a link to Alex's channel. If you're not already subscribed to him, go subscribe and watch his stuff. If you're not subscribed to me, shame on you, because I'm trying to get to 10,000. I would really like to get to 10,000 subscribers before December. In December, I have been on YouTube for 5 years. Obviously, I'm not doing things right because I see people that have been on here for like 2 years and they're already at 15,000 subscribers. That's a whole different story. That's a different topic. I'm working that out with my therapist. It's okay. But yeah, so if you're not already subscribed, please do. Tell your friends. And hey, whoever wins these knives also gets a couple stickers. And if anybody wants stickers, email me and I will send you some stickers for free, unless you really want to pay. My PayPal's always available. Super chats are always available. Like all that stuff if you really want. But Gerger Paul, I'm kind of going through some comments here. I have a special spot for Benchmade bug outs in my heart. What the heck? Just because it was my first knife I modified. Okay. I loved making it different. I love my Benchmade. I will never sell it.
That's a great knife, actually. I like it. I have a modified bug out too.
Yeah, they're just overpriced, in my humble opinion. Everything Benchmade right now is, they're very proud of their knives, we'll put it. Gerger Paul got a Rask email from Holt. They do lottery things and they kind of send out these things. Or Rask is not Holt, that's Norseman.
Grimsmo, yeah.
Grimsmo. I know what I'm talking about, guys. Let me see. Let me think of.
Yeah, Rask is a great knife. I really like my Rask.
Yeah, Dang says, for me, I think it's just the amount of knives coming out these days that's got me burnt out. It can be a bit overwhelming.
It's just too much, like it's too much.
Yep.
And as much as everybody wants to say it's new and redesign, it's not. It's not.
No, it's not.
It's like I think we've reinvented the wheel almost as much as we can get. At this point, the only thing we can change is like the artistic approach to it. Mm-hmm. And I'm not saying that people won't be inventing new cool stuff. They do all the time, but it's just the overall general. I think he nailed it when he said it's just the amount of crap that's coming out. It's like you kind of want to be up on it, but then it's so much like information overload. You're like, I don't have the time for all that. It's just not,
Yep. CPM says, Alex, an RJ Martin transfusion is more of your knife. I am not familiar with the transfusion model, and I really like RJ Martin stuff. I'll have to look up what this transfusion model is. Now CPM is going to get me thinking I might need one. Dang it. CBM probably has 4 of them in all different exotic materials. So yeah, whatever. Todd Carr agrees with Dang that there's just so much flooding the market at every price point. It's so true. There are so many knives out there. And for me, I don't need to buy new knives because I see so many knives every day, people shipping into me to film. So
Oh my God.
I have a
Hold on.
great
We gotta
way.
pause. We gotta pause here and read this one. No, do not do that. Do not do that.
They have a Kershaw tilt set. What with the three?
I mean,
Kershaw? There's three
yeah.
Kershaw tilts. I thought there was only two.
No, there's three. There's a couple. There's two variations of the first one, and then you got
Oh, okay.
But no, don't do it, man. $2,400. I mean, actually, you know what? You got the cash, so why not? But I just think you're feeding the monster of overpricedness. I don't know.
But Metal Inquisitor, aka Aussie Mike, you got my address, man. Buy that shit, send it in. I got a pile of stuff here I still need to send down to Australia anyway. So I think I got like 4 more knives to film that just came in the last couple days for Aussie Mike.
Nice.
I'm a lucky guy. What else we got here as comments? Dirk Alex was, oh yeah, we got Aussie Mike there.
What's up, EDC for fun? He's in the house.
Kathleen says she does not want a Benchmade because they're just too pricey. I get it. You can get a hollow ground XM24 now. Actually, and is it? Did they make the XM24 as an auto or just the 18? Because there's an auto now. I didn't know that, but Chris, Thai Addiction in Idaho, is going to send me an 18 auto. I don't know if they make a 24 auto. I didn't look, but
I think it's just the 18. But
at some point, I will have an 18 auto to film.
Emerson Knives started making an auto too. That's funny enough.
Oh, really?
Yeah. They made an auto, kind of small, but not too small.
Anthony says he didn't like my Sabenza until I polished the washers enough that I could actually flick it open. Alex did the same thing on his.
Yeah, like
his runs great.
Yeah,
and a lot of people actually do that.
And Hinder and back in the day, Chris Reeve used to bitch about people doing that because you're removing metal and you're gonna like change the tolerances of the pivot, but at least if you did it, like if you polish the washers and don't sand them, then you're okay, and that's kind of what I did, is just for a nice, really high grit, like fine polish is what you do with those things. And then you can flick them open like nothing. I mean, like Dirk said, mine runs really good.
Yeah, Lug Knives says he's not burnt out on knives, but he is burnt out on knife YouTube. Only knife channels I watch are you guys and other makers. Yeah, I will say I do not watch hardly anybody else's knife content. I've unsubscribed to a lot of people. Sorry. And I just don't watch anybody. I watch Alex's stuff. I watch Jim Skelton a lot of, and that's about it. Everybody else I just don't watch because there's just too much. No offense to anybody. Boosted TI has 35 subs now. Good job. He does.
CPM wanted to buy my arch nemesis, huh?
Yeah, CPM wants to buy your arch nemesis. Boosted TI has a Subaru the WRX, STI, whatever. And so he does a bunch of that stuff. It's actually a pretty cool car. It's a pretty cool car. He's at like, what is it, 400 horse and 400 foot-pounds of torque, I think he told me last time. He had a dyno. He just went to water meth injection, I think. No, he went to E85. E85.
Yeah. That's what I plan to do on my WRX. Yeah,
so he actually lives in the Northern California. We used to work together. Now he works for the company that my company uses as a vendor. So yeah, we go way back. Let's see. Mark says, do you talk to the therapist about your obsession with counting the days that a knife is carried in your pocket? I have not talked to them about that. So, all right, I'm not gonna talk about it too much anymore, but I am going for 366 days. I'm gonna do a full year, and then I'm gonna do a video of it, and maybe I'll do a live. Hey, a year in a pocket. Here's my thoughts. Here's my thoughts and feelings. And then I'm going to retire it and I'm going to carry other things. And then I'm not going to do the long-term thing again for a while, I don't think. Because it's an interesting thing to do. That's a question. How long are you guys carrying a knife? Do you change it every day? Do you change it once a week? Do you change it once a month? Or do you just grab whatever you want to grab? Todd Carr says people are getting subs from shorts, but the people who watch shorts generally don't watch. Yeah, I tried the shorts and nobody watches my shorts usually. YouTube is weird. Like I just don't care. And part of it is I have a full-time job. So I don't really care if I make any money on YouTube. So I do it differently than most. Like I do it differently than most people. Area CDC. Okay, I got to run. Dirk, I am a maker in my garage like luck. Some of the people in here own one of my fixies. Thanks for the live. Playing for Stacy for the giveaway. All right, cool. Let's see here. I'm tending with the 3% man. Okay. All right, let's just do this giveaway thing one last time. Hashtag GAW. Let's get that going before everybody wants to bug out. Damn, just Google's the transfusion. Yeah, I'll have to look that up later. Anthony gifted out 10 memberships. So I do have a membership thing. It's 99 cents a month. And you get no perks. I do nothing for you. You don't get early access to videos. I talk to everybody that messages me. I respond to every comment already for free. I did it as like an experiment to see if anybody would actually join. And I think there's like 10 people that have actually joined and continually pay 99 cents a month.
I'm not joining until you give me something out of it.
Well, now that I have stickers, anybody that joins, email me and I will give you a sticker. But again, I'm going to give stickers away to everybody anyway. So I don't know. Like, yeah. I think, again, it's me having a full-time job already and doing YouTube because it's mostly fun. Metal Inquisitor offered Recon 1 $1,800 for the set.
Okay. That's more fair.
And Recon 1 and Arizona Custom Knives and Slice, all of those, you can make offers to those guys. Like, yeah. Make them offers. It's cool. Hint, there's a delivery coming on Tuesday for you, Dirk. Okay. So my buddy Boost TI is sending me something else. That's cool.
All right. Somebody asked for the arch nemesis.
Oh, yeah. All right. Let's just see what other comments are here real quick. And then want to race, bro? Luck.
Who wants to race?
I bet you Boost TI will give you a run for your money. Now, Luck and I have a car thing together too. We both have Ford Focus STs. Luck has done a lot more work to his than mine. And I think mine's a 13. I think Luck's is a 15 or newer. But he's lowered it. He's done everything. I haven't done that much.
Well, here it is. So that is the arch nemesis. This one's kind of an old one though, compared to like the evolution of. I think he makes them a little, even tiny bit nicer now than he did at this time. But he did. I mean, there's nothing wrong with this knife. This knife is perfect. But I think he makes them slightly more hollow now. Like he does little tidbits here and there. But it's got the Rafir Noble that's been inlaid in there, and then if you charge it up with some light.
Yeah.
Let's see if I can kind of show. It's too hard to show, but
You
it gives
kinda
you
see it.
kind of like a kryptonite effect. Is really
Yeah,
what
I
it
did
is.
a video on it, and I showed off of the glow in the dark pretty good, so you guys can go back and look at that.
And
Luck
it's just
Luck says, "Not even first dibs on sales?" No, I don't. I should do that. I'll start doing that. First dibs on sales for my members. That's a
no,
great idea.
that is a good idea
And I've got
actually.
a couple things for sale, so let me post up some stuff later today for all the members or tomorrow. Whatever. That's perfect. Great idea. All right. I'm gonna scroll through all these comments real quick. I think I'm there. Yeah, so Boosted TI, he's got a fully built STI that he's invested 80 grand in so far.
It's a lot of moolah.
I knew that, but I didn't want to say it. Since he said it, it's good to go. All right, so let's bring in the giveaway tool here. We're gonna go hashtag GAW and exclude winners. We're doing multiple draw. Okay, we're just doing one draw. So got another 30 seconds if anybody hasn't already typed in hashtag GAW. Give it like a minute here. For one winner for both of these. I hope you're in the United States, but if you're international, hey, I will ship it. I ship it international. I don't care. It's lucky when they're in the U.S. because it's easier to ship. But hey, I don't care. It's fine. Oh boy, Luck says he's going to be selling his ST soon to get a new Silverado. Oh, nice. All right, let's go ahead and see who we can give away. 7?
I thought I saw way more than that.
Maybe it was capital. Maybe capitals matter.
I guess maybe capitals matter.
Oh, that's going to suck.
No, maybe it doesn't. It's the same number.
There's more than 7 people, isn't there?
I thought there was 2.
1, 2, 3, 4.
See, now it's going up as people are doing it.
All right, well, I don't know.
Let's give it another minute, man.
Yeah, we'll give it another minute or two because I thought there was way more than that.
Do it right now. Just punch it in there. Everybody wants to get into the giveaway.
Yeah, anybody that you think you didn't do it or you think you did do it, just do it again. And yeah, now we're getting 18. That seems better. I don't know what happened. Why did it only say 7? I don't know, but keep going we'll just go for a minute here. No, who cares? But yeah, thank you guys for watching. We do appreciate it. Like I said, Alex's channel is in the description. My channel, we're already watching, so please subscribe. I do daily videos. Alex does monthly-ish videos, every couple of week videos.
Depends. I just been busy with the dog, so once I get acclimated with my Velociraptor, then I'll start posting more. I might do a little dog content.
There you go. Please do. I used to do like 2 a day sometimes, but I thought it was a little much. I started to get annoyed by myself, and I thought I was kind of spamming. So I kind of cut it back to 1 a day. Every once in a while, there's 2 because I'll get something really cool in the mail that I just don't want to wait for weeks till the next open morning. So sometimes you'll get 2. Sometimes there'll be a short thrown in here and there, but I don't do too many shorts usually. They don't really do very well for me. So I just do some here and there.
All right.
Before people.
Let's do this.
Oh, okay. All right, let's just do it. 29 people. Ready, set,
go.
Let's go. And yes, like Gerger Paul said, I do 1 video at 6 a.m. Pacific time every day.
Marco.
Winner is Marco. Are you still in the house?
Marco Polo.
Marco.
Polo.
Marco.
Polo.
All right, Marco looks like he's in the house. Marco, shoot me a message, either an email, which is in description, Facebook, Instagram, I don't know. We've probably talked already. I'm easy to find. It's my name everywhere. My email's a little different, but it's in the description of this video, of every video. So, yeah, shoot me a message with your address, and I can get them out tomorrow. If you're gonna be home and whatever. So let me know.
Very cool.
Very cool. Thank you guys for playing. Appreciate that. We don't do giveaways every time because I think that, again, is a little cheesy to me. But I do have stuff in that kind of, budget, affordable price range that I will do giveaways here and there. And then when I do hit the 5-year, 10,000 subscriber mark, I might do something really crazy, stupid giveaway. Like, yeah, I got a couple ideas. I'm just not sure which one I want to do. But Alex and I will talk about that as we get closer to December. So end of December, beginning of January, there might be a really good, big, maybe custom knife. Maybe have a knife made. I got some ideas. So
I'm going to do a giveaway at 2,500. So pretty soon I'll be doing one too. I think I'm almost at 2,400. So it's only 100 more people and some change.
Cool.
Cool.
The Ford ST giveaway. Dude, I've been wanting to actually upgrade to the Explorer ST because I ain't getting any younger. And quite frankly, climbing down into my car and climbing up out of my car, my knees are telling me to F off. And I rented an Explorer in Phoenix, my last trip there for 3 days. Dude, I really liked the new Explorer. It was a brand new one. It wasn't the ST version, but man, I would love the ST Explorer. I'll probably trade mine in when I do that, but dude, would that be cool to give away a car? How cool would that freaking be?
That would be cool.
Wow. Dang Ross, it's in the description of this of the video. Alex's channel. It's in the description.
Thank you, sir.
The Ford ST the Focus ST is actually a really cool car. I've really enjoyed it. I've had it 10 years now, about 130,000 miles, and I loved it.
Yep.
Oh,
I'm a Subaru guy like a bunch of the other guys in here. I have a WRX 2017, and I like those. Oh, and I got a 96 Mustang Cobra.
Dirk, you should do cutting videos with your super awesome knives. I do. I've started doing more cutting, and I did some shorts of cutting that didn't really do a lot. But in some of the recent videos that I've done, I have been doing some cutting in the video. And I think I'm going to order some rope from Amazon, like some 1 inch and 1.5 inch rope, and do some cutting in the backyard. I got to figure out how to set that all up and make it so it doesn't look stupid. But yeah, I was thinking about trading my ST for an RS at one point. That's the WRX killer. For you guys.
That's a stock WRX killer though.
Oh, Mark has an 18 STI.
Nice. So that's the same
17 STI in the house.
Yeah. See, everybody likes the
Anthony.
17, 18 is a good year for that car. I think it was 2015 to 2020 for that generation.
Yeah.
Good WRX. Before he got ugly like they are now.
I kind of like the older WRXs, like the boxy ones.
Yeah, I like those
ones. I've driven one of those. Holy crap. I would have a hard, the car drives way better than I'm a driver. You know what I mean? It was
it's not for the person who's looking for a comfortable ride though.
Nope.
It's got a drivetrain. You can feel all the feedback, and it was
fantastic. Yeah, dang Ross had an 02. Yeah. Super cool cars. I have one car now, But this is like the first time in my life in the last several years that I've only had one car. I think I sold my Jeep in 2018. But before that, I had 2 to 3 or 4 cars. Like I always had multiple cars. EDC for Fun used to have an 06 Mustang GT.
That's a cool car. I'm a Mustang guy too by heart. I
Yep.
have a 96 Cobra, and yeah, I'm not driving it, but I'm gonna bring it out of hibernation soon enough.
Very cool. Yeah, at some point I really want to build a Cobra kit car.
That'd be fun.
That's really that's one of my ultimate car builds, and an early Bronco.
Yeah.
Just because I am part of the Utah Bronco Club. I go out wheeling every year in Utah, and my best friend has 3 Broncos in his family and all that. So at some point we're gonna just buy a frame, and it's gonna be crazy build. I'm gonna go with a 7.3 liter Godzilla engine.
Wow.
Probably with a supercharger on top.
Wow.
Just because. And build it from the ground up. Buy a brand new frame, buy freaking Super Duty axle. Like it's gonna be pretty badass. It'll be about $100,000 build, but yeah.
Metal Inquisitor's got a pretty cool stack of cars, actually.
Do you have all of those right now, Mike? The 2000 BMW E39 M5. I love the M series.
Well, the E39 in specific is my favorite.
89 Alpha.
Yep, that's cool.
Yeah. Oh, he has them all right now too. That's super cool.
Yeah, the R32 is really cool car. I mean, especially in the 04 era. I remember that car. That was an ass-kicking car too.
Luck Knives wants to build a 70s Japanese car. Do you have one picked
up? Man, you should come to California. Boy, there's so many out here.
Yeah.
There's tons of them. Right-hand drive all over the place.
That would be freaking awesome.
I literally, just this week alone in the South Bay and Los Angeles area, I have passed by
72 Mach 1.
I passed by an R32 Skyline right-hand drive, an R33, an R34, a Toyota Chaser. That's actually a really rare car to have here. That was right-hand drive. And somebody had a really crazy Mitsubishi Evolution sports truck with a full kit on it that was right-hand drive. So because of those new smog laws, like Mitsubishi Evo 4s and 5s from Japan are here now. Like,
yeah,
dude, there's so many cars in SoCal. If you want a Japanese car, you can almost find anything you want. It's really crazy.
I had at one point, don't remember the year. It was an anniversary edition of the 280ZX. It was it needed a lot of work. It was it was a project car that sort of drove, and I had it for a little while. I did some, but I didn't do a lot. So Luck wants either a 71 Celica or a 240Z. You know what I really want? I would take the 240Z out of those two. What I really build or buy is a Datsun 510. 2-door coupe Datsun 510. Oh.
My manager has 3 of those right now in his garage. One of them's a race car. One of them's a race car with an SR in it. And then he's got 2 of them that he's just trying to. One's, I think, a parts car, and then the other one's kind of like a daily driver.
Dude, I would do like a street strip style, like, not a hardcore racer, but cage it and make it a daily with cage and all that. The 510 is something I have wanted forever.
My dream car is an Escort Cosworth. That's like from 1996 to like 2002. That would be my dream car that I always wanted.
Yeah, so Metal Inquisitor says, Luck Knives, do a right-hand drive car and then send it to him in Australia. We drive on the wrong side down there.
Yeah.
So that's actually true. They're all right-hand drives down there.
Yep, they sure are, and they got some cool General Motors cars out there.
Paul Newman's first race car was a 510. Somebody says.
That's cool.
Boosted TI says a 510 with an RB26 turbo. I'm down, man. I should probably build that, a 510, before I do the Cobra thing. Like, I think the 510 is just an awesome looking car. I had a Datsun 610. That was my first car. It was a 4-door, and it was like the 510, but much more rounded.
I remember that car.
Than the 610.
The 240Z, a 72, was my first car.
Those are just so cool. But the 510, man, I really want a 510, and they're expensive nowadays.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes I look like online and stuff, and I'm like, damn.
Yep.
Because
a lot of those you don't even have to smog, you know?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I was thought about also getting like a birth year. Like, I was born in 69, so like a 69 510 or a 69 Camaro would be really cool. But a 510, man, it's just small, boxy, and I think there'd be so fun.
Yeah, I have the worst year birthday for that, man. 1980. Can you think of anything cool that came out in 1980?
You.
Not really. Yes. Yeah.
You did. And that's cool.
There's no cars in 1980 that were that cool. I'm sure there were, but.
Napster Ninja's first car was an 85 Toyota Supra. He spun out a few times. That's cool.
That was. I'm not surprised. That's a very heavy car.
Yep. You know what other kind of weird car I always kind of wanted? Was like that first generation Toyota MR2.
Oh, yeah.
My buddy had one, so I did drive it, and I rode around in it quite a bit. But again, small, little, like low, but still, the 510 has always been kind of one of my dream cars, I think.
That little MR2, you could get it in a supercharged variation.
Yep.
It was a 4AGZE supercharged 4-cylinder. And if I had a friend way back in the day when, God, this was like late 90s, he had one with an HKS twin charge kit. So it was a turbo kit you put on the supercharged engine. It barely ever ran right, but when it did, it was fun. It would get really, really hot.
Lux says he's pretty sure the 80s Supras came from the factory with a pre-blown head gasket. Oh, dude, Mike, during the pandemic, he built a 3,500 watt stereo for the R32. I really miss having a system. I had in my 610, I had some like 15s or 18s. Now, it was total ghetto. It was total cheeseball equipment. But I had like 2,000 watts. It was pretty cool for me being like 17-ish, in that age range. And then I did, as I got older, I had a better, like a legit system in a S10 extra cab pickup. I miss having a system. I really do.
I had a system in a Ford Focus hatchback, man. Those things really rock when you build up systems in them. Yeah.
Oh, 1980s RX-7. I like the RX-7s, the early first version ones.
Yeah, that's like the Savannah body style, but
yeah,
it's cool. But I've never been a rotary guy, you know. I don't know. I love the idea of them. I think the wank is really cool, but I just, for some reason, there was something about rotary cars that is not something I wanted to own.
Okay. Rambo says he has a custom Caribbean 4x4 being built now with a very legit sound system. Dude, when I was in Utah last time, we were at my buddy's shop working on the Bronco before we went to Bronco Safari. We were leaving in a couple of days. There was a system like down the street. Dude, this thing was crazy. There's no way it sounded like a car system. I was impressed beyond anything. I could not believe how hard this thing was hitting from down the street. Like, it was crazy. And you could hear it and understand it. Like, it wasn't like, it was cleanest audio.
Yeah, but what the hell is he doing? What is that going to sound like inside the car?
Dude, I don't know, but I wanted to go over there and find the guy and talk to him because that's what I want in my car. I used to do pro audio way back in the day. Way back, one of my first jobs was doing pro audio stuff, sound mixing for concerts and went on tours and stuff like that. And dude, you guys are going to spend my money now on audio stuff. Boosted STI had an RX-7 when he was 17. EDC for fun. I don't have a system, but I replaced all my speakers with quality ones so I get a nice sound. Yeah, my ST came with the upgraded stereo, so like an 8-inch sub. It's not bad. I should go through and just do what Dennis did and just replace all the speakers with higher end stuff and get a pretty good deal out of it. Oh, Lug Knives had an RX-8 Series 2 before the ST. Penske double adjustables on it. Nice. There you go. Dang Ross. My buddy drove his new Colorado off the dealer lot to an audio place and spent 13 grand. Ripped out the back seats for a custom box, all jail on it. See, that's what I'm talking about. I could bust out my back seat in the ST. I could sell a knife and go buy a system. We need a live where we put a knife picture with our current ride in the background. Okay. All right. Well, anyway, now we're just rambling. So
I think we're good. That was fun. I like talking about cars.
That was cool. I'm super into car stuff. I definitely want to get a system again. There's some more knives I want. There's some more watches I want. And realistically, there are some house projects I want to do. So, yeah, it's tough being an adult. This adulting shit sucks. A car meet at Blade West, I'm flying in. So I won't bring my car, but I'd love to check out your car while I'm there because I will be at Blade West this year. If anybody is going, please hit me up. Let's see if we can connect while we're there. Aussie Mike, thanks for joining. Get back to work, and we will talk to you all later. All right, guys, thanks very much. We'll be back in a couple of weeks. What we're going to talk about in a couple of weeks, we got no idea. We'll figure it out when we get closer. But, yeah, make sure you go subscribe to Alex. Somebody said that the link didn't work in the description. I will make sure that it's – maybe I copied and pasted the wrong thing. I don't know. I will update it shortly. But go check him out for sure. It's the Watch and Gear channel. What's it called now?
It's right here.
Oh yeah, it's right there on his name, which I can't see because I just got a new monitor, and so I just changed some settings and stuff, so I can't really read it now because I went to dark mode.
The Watch and Cut Gear channel. The
Watch and Cut Gear channel. Go check him out. I'll make sure the link works when we're done with this live, so you can find it through the description. And I'll do like a community post or something to make sure.
That's fine. Everybody knows.
We got to get his numbers up. We got to pump his rookie numbers up and keep having some fun. So we'll see you guys back here in 2 weeks. Tell your friends. Thanks, everybody. We will see you next time.
Bye, everyone.